unit owners are bound, like any other litigant would be, by the statute of limitations. And because of the fact that the declaration that's in place is part real estate related and also part contractually related, the statute of limitations typically for a written contract would be 5 years. Now, the issue is when does the defect become known to the unit owner? So if it's under developer control and you find out that there's a problem and that it should be maintained either under the declaration or under the statutes by the developer, and the developer refuses to do anything about it, you have 5 years from the time that you're aware of it, or you reasonably should have been aware of it, because somebody can always come in and go, well, I wasn't aware of it. And the court can look at it and say, well, a reasonable person would have been aware of it. So that's when the statute of limitations are going to start running. Now, we talked about the turnover from developer control to membership control. And with a condominium, you have that engineer's report. So a lot of times that is kind of your starting point for the statute of limitations, because you have there, you have a list of things that have gone wrong, and typically associations at that point will look at the engineering list and then go back to the developer and say, okay, these are the things that are wrong, this is the money it's going to cost to fix, and if the developer doesn't pay it, then there's a lawsuit. Sometimes those are based on construction defects. In fact, most of the time those are based on construction defects, but other times it may be from lack of maintenance or some other issue. But typically the 5 year is the statute of limitation cutoff, but the question is when does that begin? And so sometimes that becomes gray, but it's really when a reasonable person would know, and if you have an engineering report in front of you, then you definitely are put on notice that this is what the issues are. And so you couldn't claim that, 7 years later, well, we didn't know about these issues. Well, you did know about them. You knew about them when the engineer report came out, and you had 5 years from that date. Now you waited 7, statute of limitations have run. So that's kind of how that part works when it comes to having some type of cause of action against a developer for failure to maintain or for some kind of construction defect from the original construction.